Oh, it's recording. Ja vel. Prøv med å se hvordan dette henger. Andre utgave av Draumstovo. I dag har vi med en munk, rett og slett, som har vært 3 måneder, 4 måneder, 3 or 4 months? 3 months up in the mountains up above, forbi Buddhist Monk. Han sitter der og meditert. Så han har vært nede her et par ganger når det var noe ekstraordinært skyping og kommunikasjon med familiemedlemmer og sånn noe. Nå sitter vi og venter på at bussen hans skal komme seg ned til byen i morgen. Tidlig klokka 5. Så jeg kan morgenflyet ned til Tyskland. Så jeg tenkte vi vil høre litt hvordan livet fra under munkekappa, for å si det sånn. Well, hi Cedric. Thanks for coming and thanks for your great company. It's been a real honor to be getting better known with you this winter as I've been visiting you up in the mountains and also as you have sometimes come down here. And, wow, what a ride! But what is your mountain perspective now? What were your mission when you set out to do this? Quite unusual thing to be meditating for a whole winter.
My mission?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, this was probably just not something that just occurred to you while you were out shopping. That I want to go up this winter and just stay meditating in Norway. I suppose there must have been some.
Why meditating in winter in Norway, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because I wanted to meditate in retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And I never did this in Norway outside like this. And I thought I can use the winter even to stay outside. I did in the winter in a hut, you know, in a house or something like this, but not in the tent.
Yeah, you slept in a tent.
Yes. So I wanted to try this in a tent so I can be more in connection with the nature, like I like it, during the winter, and I wanted to see if this works. And it works.
It works. You've been telling us you're going through many different meditation programs.
Yes.
Can you explain how these meditation programs works for people that...
In Buddhism, you mean?
Yeah, or in general?
In general, well, you have different spiritual disciplines, or even religions, or philosophies, and then you have their disciplines. So it's built from like school grades, and it starts with the basics, and then on the basics comes the more complex. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that it's more profound, but more complex maybe. And but your insight or your spiritual discipline then becomes more profound, like becoming a better and better schoolboy.
Have you been using nature as a teacher then? Have you been?
No, nature. Well, why use nature? Firstly, nature balances you. And secondly, when you're out in nature, you're alone. This is actually the most important thing. And for me personally, also nature, balancing would be a good word. Like balances me or inspires me. Brings me closer to what I feel maybe is the truth or something like this. Nature is like an inspiration for this. So for me, being in nature is like being closer to myself. That's why I like nature very much for that, or in general, yes.
And despite your young years, you have already been monk for a very long time. What set you out on this? I mean, it's an epic journey in my mind.
Well, I didn't plan to become a monk. And it was because Well, my teacher, he's a monk, and then he proposed me to be a monk, and when I understood what it means, but this was quite some time after the proposal, I actually felt not only the calling, I felt this is what I've looked for in my life. Not becoming a monk, but the path of what a monk does. Actually, I don't care being a monk or not, but the path of what the monk does, this I care. And my teacher suggested to me that being a monk is the best way, which I follow up to now. But now not only out of conviction of my teacher, but even now it has become my own conviction that up to now being a monk is the best way. If I feel the best way to follow this calling, or what I feel in life is the best way to live, if I would not be a monk, I would not be a monk. But up to now, it's been to be a monk.
How did you sign up to this? You go to a temple, you are associated with...
Well, in Buddhism, it's like there are different traditions, and the different Buddhist traditions differ according to the country where they come from, and each country has different procedures for how to become a monk. But basically what they have in common is, yes, you go to a monastery or monks or nuns for women, and then you sign up. And some tradition you have some probation time for even becoming a novice. Some don't have a probation time for becoming a novice, you become a novice. But what all traditions have in common is that you become a novice, and as a novice, again, you have a different length of time according to tradition, and then you become a fully ordained monk or nun. In some tradition, the precept got lost. For higher ordination, they stay a novice, but this is technical. But basically, this is how you sign up. I think it's like a Christian church.
That could be. I'm always a bit flabbergasted, but how little I've been to the church myself over the years, despite being quite...
Yes, but you also have to know that for the Christianity, like in Europe, the tradition of the monastic tradition, and also actually the spiritual tradition as such, of spiritual contemplation and practice, I guess, of Christianity, is really, sadly, quite small.
Yeah, it's
and it's this is another thing I have to say. I think if as a young boy I would have met a brilliant Christian teacher, and he would have spoken truth to my heart, you can bet I become a Christian monk. It's so sure.
Of course, yeah, I agree with you on that. I think you've been very lucky to at all have met somebody in your life that have been able to talk you clearly and inspire you.
But another thing for spirituality, what I understand up to now is that the teacher chooses the student. It seems as if the student chooses the teacher, but in reality it's the opposite.
Yeah, how do you mean?
It's mean the only thing which I feel comes from the student is the calling, and then the condition appear for you to meet a teacher. It will just happen. So, but that you really, this as far as I know also happened to other people I talk to who have then a real master-student relationship or something. It will be kind of the master who sets the first main imprint of the student-master relationship. Of course, sets the big first, ground stone for now we have the master-student relationship. This comes from the master. It's not the student who will say, now we have a master and student relationship, you teach me. It doesn't work that way, you know, it must go the other way. So this is also my experience.
This I can recognize, because when I went to art school, and I in Oslo, I was new in the big city, and I was quite enjoying the school and stuff, but I was like, what do I do? And we had some stipend competition. We could win a money prize from the teacher. And I came up with I thought it was a half good idea, but the teacher liked it. and I won the prize, and I suddenly got thinking, oh, I can actually make money doing art. There was I don't know if that is okay. Maybe it's cheapen it by taking monetary rewards as a inspiration for taking your work further, as we are talking about being a monk now. But certainly those small favors granted to you by the teacher over the year has been, an enormous inspiration to continue on developing myself as an artist. I don't know how that has been for you as a monk, of course, but...
Yeah, the teacher is like... We say all the blessing come from the teacher, and this is really true. It's difficult to describe, but this is true.
Yeah, I understand you have had quite some teachers. First and foremost, when talking with you, I often acknowledge, wow, you had some good teachers. And I think that is often very lost.
Like the teachers put you into the right perspective, and you cannot do this on your own. Maybe your parents or somebody can do this, or they do actually. They do actually. Your parents put you into perspective for life, but except your parents, who will do it really? Maybe you are lucky that you have some special persons in your life who kind of do it, maybe your partner or even child or whatever, but it's very rare. And for spiritual things, of course, it's a teacher, and that's why.
Can you mention any particular episode from your, I don't know, training?
About putting in perspective?
Yeah, from you cannot do this yourself, you say this, or you need a teacher.
Oh,
where you've been put in situations where you probably couldn't find yourself in.
Well, for the retreat here outside, actually I went to do it on my own. But then one teacher of mine, he said to me, you better do not. Firstly, if you do it alone, you can go wrong. And secondly, this is the main part, you can go wrong in how you conduct it and what's your view for it and how you practice everything. The second point is that's what comes with the teacher is if you have a teacher for that, not only if you have a good teacher will you not go wrong, but it will go much quicker and much direct because he can give all the experience directly. You don't have to go through the experience of how you call this, try and miss. I don't know.
Hit and miss.
Hit and miss. Yeah. You don't go through this process because he already can transmit to you what has worked through centuries. So you short the length of time. He can directly give you the recipe of what works. Of course you can try and experiment by yourself, but he can at least give you a recipe that works, and most of all, he will not let you go wrong in as far as maybe unwholesome or not healthy way. He can prevent that, so this is super important.
But did you have any contact with the monastery while you were staying here this winter?
No, it doesn't work like that about having direct contact. It's more about, he puts you in perspective before and after the retreat. Or through contact. In the beginning when you have a teacher, the contact is very close, like every day, ideally. But then, as you grow accustomed to how he will handle you, you can have more and more distance. Like being a child to the parents. When you're born, you need care every day. And the parents tell you what is right and wrong and how to deal with life. And the more you grow up, the more distance it becomes because you become puberty and you find your own ways. But still, the imprint of what's right and wrong and of this kind of perspective for life of the parents is always in your mind. Even though you maybe puberty go against it or do whatever, but still it's in your mind. Oh, my mom and my dad, even just the feeling of how to handle life is so deep from the parents. So from the teacher for spiritual practice it will be the same. Even sometimes, I notice from how I feel often when I'm alone or something, and I'm not quite sure how I would handle a certain situation, there will always be the teacher popping up in your head, and you know how he would kind of handle it.
Yeah.
And this gives you a guideline.
True.
If you would not have that, you would be very out there by yourself. So that's why a teacher makes the whole thing much more stable.
Yeah, then when you mentioned that, two things. But second thing first, because you've been first to tell me how I can meditate, and I actually could meditate. I've tried many times before, but that's different technique. You had a technique that I could use, and fitted me perfectly with my frame of mind. And yeah, you have been known to pop up in my mind from time to time while I've been counting my breaths.
Yes.
Just oh, okay. So it's this is true.
Like for example, with the meditation, when I talk to meditation to you, it's not only about the words, but when we talk as humans, we always carry a certain feeling of how you conduct the thing, or how the environment of what you talk about is from the on the feeling level, you know. That's why then when you do practice or something, it's not only about the words, about techniques, but you carry a lot more with it. And this is actually this is the main point actually.
Yes. But the first thing that was put in second place from there, because of the earthquake in Kathmandu, you are making these candles to light for memory for those lost or suffering. Maybe you should. I think it's getting a bit darker out here, and maybe it's time to. I can.
Yes.
This is for you watching this. When you light a flame, and you do it in memory for people. The flame, whenever you see it, it will remind you of this. And this is for the earthquake victims up in Kathmandu, in Nepal. Where you been? You were.
Yeah, I go often there.
Yeah, I mean, you've been a very grounded person since I met you. But yesterday you were actually worked up for maybe 10 minutes.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's like when your family or your parents, they have a injury or they have death case. I mean, maybe if you've known that they die, then it's different. But if it's suddenly, of course, you are, how you call this?
Shocked.
Not shocked, like also shocked, but you are. It does something with you. Yes, of course, it's normal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I believe you, but it must be. You say but the main temple you went to, that's quite safe. There was some rubble there, but
yeah, because it was on a slope, in the forest hillside, so that's why they won't. And also, it's built like very sturdily, so luckily nothing happened there. But
yeah. It was down in the valley where.
But down in the valley, I think maybe half or a quarter or a third, or I don't know how many is destroyed. Yes.
It's big. This is maybe the good thing that we don't have television, so we are not overfeeding ourselves on how it can be there, but I don't know. Is there anything you would like to share to the viewers of this video for them to take with them on their life's path?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, be kind to animals and humans and everybody. Yes, and yeah, that's all. The main message is be kind.
meditate more.
If you can, yes.
You gave that advice to a friend.
But actually, if you are really kind to all people,
Mm-hmm.
this is the best meditation.
Mm-hmm. This is a good one. Well, that was short, but hopefully an enlightening interview with our monk here. Oh, you have two different names as I do, but which you prefer?
Oh, you can say Cedric.
Cedric.
Here is better Cedric.
Yeah.
Because the Asian names, well, there's no use in Europe.
It's hard to.
Cedric, yes.
Cedric is good. To even try to write it in Asian is difficult. Well, that's what's asked. Appa. Hi and welcome. We're getting back here now to Mosedhov. It's Wednesday today, the 11th of February 2015, and had a nice evening yesterday. Cedric the monk came down from the hills where he's been staying over now for almost 3 weeks, meditating in any kind of weather, just staying in his tent, as you might have seen in some of the videos, so I'm sure to show you a bit later. So he decided to stay over for the night, get a cozy bed to sleep in, be a bit refreshed, or well, maybe depressed, I don't know. He is in good shape, so he's not suffering. Anyhow, before he heads back home, we decided to have some film session with him, and he's now gonna tell something about meditation, I believe. Okay, here you go, Cedric.
Okay.
It's all yours.
Yes. Okay, so when you want to meditate, the first important thing is the body. You notice your body. This is like the root or the basis you want to go back to, or that you want to, it's like your home and the thing you want to be stable with. So this is what you notice first with your feeling of the body. Then important, when you want to meditate, you sit straight in a good position, comfortable position, and this is the work you do with the body. This is what you notice and you come back to all the time. And then with your mind, the work you do is you focus on the breath. This is one of the basic meditations. So the body is the basis or the root, and the breath is what you work on with. And the way you notice your breath, for example, you sit straight, you feel your body. This is where you want to come back to all the time as a feeling, and then the breath becomes your kind of the object you want to put your mind on.
You focus on the breath?
Yes.
And this is because...
The thing is, because if you focus on the body only, you can do that also. Actually, in the beginning, sometimes what we do is we feel only the body. For example, you know? You sit and you feel only the body. It's possible. But then, as your mind gets calmer, it's easier to follow the breath. Because the body doesn't move very much, you know? When you sit still, nothing happens much. You can do it, it's actually very good, and it roots one. And actually this is what you want to come back to. If the body, and if the breath is too subtle or too not groundy enough for you, you come back to the body. Same if you end up in thoughts, or if you notice your mind gets distracted or unfresh, you can come back to the body. It's it's the safest place you can go. As a human with your mind, the body is the most direct connection. But then to work with your mind more subtly and more, it's more work, if you want. Spiritual work, you know, kind of, is with the breath. And this exists in all tradition, you know, like Indian or I don't know about Christian, but many traditions they use the breath.
Yeah, there's Christians that meditate as well.
On the breath. Yeah, maybe.
But maybe not so much in churches, I think.
And this is what you want to use with your mind. So basically, you use the body, feel the body. Actually, in the beginning, you can attune yourself to the body. And then when you feel you get still, you can shift your attention with your mind on the breath. And you feel the breath as a bodily sensation, you know.
Can I ask you how this works when it's sub-0 degrees and the wind is hitting hard in your face and snow is whipping around and you are in the forest?
You will choose a spot which is calm, you know.
We were up there and I noticed there were a lot of birds.
Yeah.
Do you feel their presence when you're meditating?
Yes, I hear them. Of course. It's nice.
I think so.
So basically, do like this, feel your body, and then breathe. And then when thoughts come, or sometimes you sit and you feel or I don't know, sometimes you feel the thought process coming, like you think about something else, or your mind goes away from body or breath and follows some thoughts or so, then you have to come back. This is actually what keeps you away, or what we said, when you lose yourself, remember yesterday? This is the same. Because you're not in control of your mind, then you lose your mind. So you want to put your attention back to body or breath.
I understand.
Yeah. And actually, to be aware of the body, you can do this 24 hours, all the time. It's possible, and it's good. And to be mindful of the breath, 24 hours. It's okay, but the problem is it's more subtle of a feeling, Imagine like when you have some work to do or something, to notice your body is okay, but to notice the breath and so on is more difficult. The better is to use the breath for the calm situation, Yeah. You can use it also in other situations, it's no problem, it's good. Anyhow, this is good, not speaking about good and bad, it's always good to notice your body or your breath or any kind of these psychophysical things, it's good. But the main point is you want to put your attention on something where you can be consistent and which is easy for you to recover during the day or during meditation session. That's why one chooses the most easiest to do. Body is the most easiest, or one of the most easiest. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, great, that's lesson 1 then.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yes, there you hear it. If you all want to start meditating, this is a good time to start. This winter is still gonna last a couple of months, so not gonna be so much outside, but I'm pretty sure this will ensure a very nice springtime. Thank you.
In this condition.
You see the birds everywhere?
I hear them, so maybe the camera will get the sound. I can see one up there. I don't know if the camera can see it. But
Actually, there's small insects all over the tree and the seeds of the cones, right? So they pick it during the sun time, they pick them.
yeah, they enjoy this weather.